Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. This is The Mental Breakdown, and I'm your host, Joey Velez. First and foremost, happy Monday, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there that have served this country. You know, ever since I started working with the military 4 or 5 years ago, I think it just brings a different level of appreciation to our military members. Not that I didn't before, but just seeing the work they put in day in and day out here to train to get prepared to potentially go overseas and fight our wars for us to, fight for our freedom. It's just something very appreciated. So thank you all for those who have theirs, and then also thank you for those who are currently serving as well. So let's get into today. Before that, random this or that topic. Would you rather be too cool or too cold or too hot? I'd for sure rather be too cold, I think, because I think I just put on more layers. Uh, and I've actually been in really cold weather where I have more layers on and I feel like a perfect temperature. If I'm too hot, I'm just miserable. Like I don't want to do anything. Everything feels annoying to me. So there's your this or that question. I'd rather be too cold. But today's topic is related to a phrase that I've heard many times in the sporting world. That is, failure is not an option. Now, I don't like this phrase, and I'm going to tell you why. When you're competing in a sport, in a sales industry, uh, if you're taking a test, failure is a potential outcome. If I'm going into a performance, I'm going to win or I'm going to lose. If I'm going to take a test, I'm going to pass that test or I'm going to fail that test. If I myself am going out and going golfing and I want to shoot an 85, I'm either going to beat that score or I'm not going to beat that score. So I think the idea that failure is not an option, I think actually holds us back. Because if I go into a performance thinking that failure is not an option and then I start to make mistakes, what does that now do for my confidence, for my attention, for my motivation moving forward? What happens if I actually end up losing and I'm telling myself failure is not an option? What does that do towards the long-term impact on in that performance setting? So I think what happens is what high level performers actually do is they acknowledge that failure is a potential outcome. Do they go into a performance thinking, hey, let's go out and fail? No. But I think what happens when we acknowledge that I could fail, when we accept the fact that, hey, like failure is potentially an option here, it now allows you to shift your focus to what do I need to do to be successful here? What are the steps A, B, and C I need to do to make sure I bring my best foot forward? Not only does that change what we're focusing on, but maybe now when I do make a mistake, maybe I have more of a plan to combat that mistake in the moment. Whereas if I had the mindset that I cannot fail, I shouldn't fail, that mistake is going to have a much more of an impact, not just on long term, but also in the short term as well. So again, this doesn't mean that you want to fail, but I think accepting the fact that failure is a potential outcome here allows you to shed uh, that cloud that hovers over you that like, hey, if you fail, then you're a bad person, or hey, you're not good at what you do if you fail. Right. So I think what we can do in order to kind of change this narrative, I think one, first and foremost, is acknowledge the different outcomes that could potentially happen. Here's what happens if I win. Here's what could happen if I lose, this, that, and the other. But then I think it's also about coming up with potential directional statements. So what are the one, two, or three things I need to do to be successful and how I'm going to go about doing those things? Um, Maybe you're also contingency planning. What's one thing that could potentially go wrong, and what am I going to do if that happens? But then also having some sort of power phrase you can go to that's going to provide the motivation you need either before the performance or during the performance if mistakes start to happen. Okay, so what can you do to kind of change that narrative? One, acknowledge and accept the potential outcomes, create some sort of directional statements that tell you what you need to do to be successful, but then also create some sort of power statements that are going to provide you the motivation you need, not just before the performance, but also after. Okay. And that's all I got for you all today. Don't forget to like, rate, review, subscribe to all social media, YouTube channel. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with this statement or do you not agree with this statement? Love to hear your thoughts. Once again, happy Monday, happy Veterans Day. Thank you all for tuning in. And don't forget, today is a great day to make an impact. All right, y'all. Have a good rest of your day.